There are two suns. The moon is dark and the gods dance in the night. There is terror in the sky, for upon the moon hath sunk an eclipse foretold in no books of men or of the gods of earth. There's an unknown magic on Hotheg Kala, for the screams of the frightened gods have turned to laughter, and the slopes of ice shoot up endlessly into the black heavens, whither I am plunging. High, 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 at last, in the dim light I behold the gods of earth. The laws are broken and the sky has been torn asunder, and now a nemesis star sits in mocking jubilation to everything we once held dear. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, everything within the cis-Jovian complex, likely to the door of Nessus, has been obliterated. It is up to us, my fellow guardians, to right this wrong. What's going on, my fellow guardians? Joker back again once again, and today we've got some predictions for Destiny 2. So, in an interview with Games Radar, world design lead Steve Cotton says Nessus is on a visiting orbit. In the article, which is linked in the description below, it goes on to state that in the game, the planet is a Vex machine world. Speaking to Games Radar, Cotton said, Nessus is a centaur. We called it a planetoid in the presentation, but it's a centaur. A centaur is a minor planet with an irregular orbit, which he explains means it's a planet that orbits in our solar system in a weird way, a visiting orbit thing. We thought that was really fascinating. The Hunters cataloged this planet, and that's how the Vex built their thing, and now it's coming into our solar system. So that's why it's here. Even more curious is when asked if that meant there might be a limited window to deal with it, he stated, limited window. The article goes on to say, it does add up. Destiny is set in our solar system, and the last time I checked, there is no Nessus planet mentioned. As for what the idea of a limited window could mean, that's unclear. It could be narrative time pressure in the story, but given Destiny's love for time-restricted events, such as Xur, Rise of Iron, and so on, could it mean that Nessus is content that isn't available every day? And finally, just to make things more interesting, it looks like it's a real planet. 7066 Nessus, to be precise. An icy minor planet discovered by David L. Robizanzunai in 1993. It has an orbital period of 122.4 years, and at its closest point to the Sun, it's nearer than Uranus, while its furthest point takes it beyond Neptune. But ladies and gents, you have not come here to listen to me read a Games Radar article. You want my theories. So, here's what I think will happen in Destiny 2. Warning for potential spoilers, I guess? So the beginning of Destiny 2 sees us in a really, really dark place, right? Gull has invaded. He's decimated the city. We've lost our powers. We've lost our loot. It's all gone. It's just gone. 3 years of your life, out the fucking window. So now we've got to get our powers back. That's going to be the most important thing. And we find the cure to that in the European Dead Zone, where there is a shard of the Traveler just kind of sitting out there from the collapse where it was ripped off his body and just kind of left there. I don't know why it never returned to the Traveler like the shard on the moon, but that's plot convenience. So we find the plot convenience and we set up shop on the farm that Hawthorne allows us to stay at. And of course, we can't just like crash our house, right? We're not just going to sit there and be freeloaders, so we're going to help people. And we're going to get the lay of the land. We're going to get the rules of the frontier. We're going to start going out and reassembling the band. Because Cade's gone off to do whatever, God knows what, Cade things. Zavala and Ikora Ray are moping. They're navel-gazing, and they're like, meh, the light has left me. What is a guardian without light? And Cade's like, dude, I'm gonna get me some fucking loot. It's what I fucking do.
There will be a ton of loot!
So the first act ends with us getting the band back together, right? And maybe this is how we get our supers, our new supers. You know, Fist of Havoc's change, Sentinel's change. Sentinel's a whole new thing, right? Defender Titan got new Sentinel. Whatever, moving forward. So, Sunslinger's not Sunslinger, it's Dawnblade. We got pole dancers now. We got a bunch of cool shit, right? So we've got these new powers, and maybe going through and finding all this shit is how our powers diverge, or maybe this is a retro continuity thing where it's like, nah, you could always do that. That's just, no. Shut up, forget Destiny 1. Who knows? We don't know. We'll find out when we get the game, I guess. Anyways, moving forward. So, the second act of Destiny. Now we've got to fight back against Gaul, right? We've built up a resistance, so now we're going to strike them where it hurts. We're going to go to Io, we're going to go to Titan, we're going to go to Earth, and we're just going to take it to him, right? And we are going to kick him in his cabals, man. But there's a drawback. I mean, because there would be a drawback, right? Like, it wouldn't be a video game if there wasn't a drawback. See, he was planning for this. He knew this would happen. He knew we were too much of a threat. I mean, we killed fucking Oryx, for crying out loud. I mean, Oryx is kind of a big deal, right? So he figured, you know what? The Guardians are probably going to come back to bite me in the ass. And even if they don't, even if it's not the Guardians, well, the Fallen want the Traveler, right? God knows what the Vex are doing, you know? And then there's always the Hive. They want the Traveler. They want to eat it. So, our solar system is just this kind of cancerous plague that may come back to bite Gaul in the ass. Well, he can't allow that to happen, right? So, the end of the second act, Gaul is leaving our solar system with the Traveler. I'm calling it now. Gaul is going to leave our solar system with the Traveler, and as he's leaving, he is going to turn the lights out in such a spectacular way that it destroys our system. So the third act opens, right? And we are sitting on the Vex ruins of Nessus. Now, the Vex are smart cookies, right? They knew that this was going to happen. They can see the pattern. They can look into the future. They knew Gaul was going to blow everything up. So they prepared for it. They built this bunker within Nessus, and then they just go, hey, Guardians, there's something down here. You should come take a look.
There will be a ton of loot!
And they trick us to going in there at the appointed time, and then boom! Sol gets ripped in half, our solar system is destroyed, but we are saved because we are within Nessus. We emerge from the vault, and we're like, well, shit. And the Vex is like, nah, dude, bro, I got you. You gotta go back, Samurai Jack. I mean, because think about it. Losing Mercury, losing Venus, losing the Vault of Glass, that's not part of the pattern. That's not a good day for the Vex, right? Because even with all the meddling we've done to the Heart of the Black Garden, to the Vault of Glass, to all that nonsense, we still haven't outright destroyed it. There's still things that they can do with what's left over. If it's all gone, if it's all destroyed, right? Like, it's just gone. It's just, the Vex are fucked. They're like, well, fuck, all that work. Fuck me. And this isn't the first time that we've played with timelines, right? So everything in Destiny 1, after the Exo Stranger contacted us on Luna, is a divergence from what was supposed to happen in the normal timeline, right? This isn't the first time the Vex have gone, hey, Guardians, we need some help. Something's fucked up our plans, and we need to send you through time to fix it. This happened in the Praedyth mission in Taken King. So I think the Vex are going to save our asses, put us in a vault, and then send us back in time to stop Gaul from blowing up the sun. Because after all, Guardians are paracausal. Guardians make their own fate. So we battle for the sun, we stop Gaul from destroying it, from leaving with the Traveler, but I don't think we kill him. This is just a setback. Gaul still has the Traveler. He still has the city. He still wants to fight. That's how Destiny 2 ends. And that's how it has to end, because what would be the point of upsetting the entire status quo, of taking the Traveler, of destroying the city, if we just got it back at the end of an 8-hour campaign? That'd be stupid. That'd be stupid if we got it back at the end of the first expansion. That would be stupid, colossally fucking stupid, if we got it at the end of the Rasputin campaign. No, we need to get back the city in whatever happens just before Destiny 2's version of the Taken King. Fuck, We need to get back this city at the end of Destiny 2's version of the Taken King, right? Because all this needs to be going on concurrently so that we have multiple raids, we have all this really cool shit that we're doing, and we have this ever-present bad guy that we can kind of like look to as like, yeah, this is the guy doing all the shit. We need a nemesis. We need a really good, really intelligent, really strong adversary. I thought we were going to get that with Oryx, but we punked his ass by the end of the credits, and then we went into a raid and dropped him. Wore his ass as a hat. He wasn't nothing. Moving forward. So, another interesting thing from the interview is when Stephen Cotton calls Nessus a centaur, meaning it's a minor planet with an irregular orbit. The name Nessus comes from a centaur in Greek mythology. To quote the Wikipedia's TLDR, which is still pretty fucking long, and spoiler alert, I'm going to butcher every name listed here. Nessus is known for his role in the story of the Tunic of Nessus. After carrying Deianira, the wife of Hercules, across the river, he attempts to force himself upon her. Hercules saw this from across the river and shot a hydro-poisoned arrow into Nessus' breast. The final act of malice, Nessus told Deianira, whatever her name is, as he lay dying, that his blood would ensure that Hercules would be true to her forever. Well, that doesn't sound like a fucking trap. Deianira foolishly believes him. Later, when her trust began to wane because of Ilo, she spreads the centaur's blood on a robe and gives it to her husband. Hercules went to a gathering of heroes where his passion got the better of him. Meanwhile, Deianira accidentally spilled a portion of the centaur's blood onto the floor. To her horror, it began to fume by the light of the rising sun. She instantly recognized it as a poison and sent her messengers to warn Hercules, but it was too late. Hercules lay dying slowly and painfully as the robe burned his skin, either with actual flame or by the heat of the poison. He died a noble death on a funeral pyre of oak branches. Hercules was then taken to Mount Olympus by Zeus and welcomed among the gods for his heroic exploits. But that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. There's another version, the Ovid version of the story, Hercules 9, which has Hercules under the erotic control of Ile. She specifically has Hercules wear women's clothing and perform women's work. Hercules at this time, all the while bragging about his heroic deeds. However, Deianira reminds him how he is dressed in feminine attire, and Ailoi is wearing his clothes while carrying his club. Deianira ultimately urges silence from him. The same version of the story shows the disgrace and shame of Hercules, who was once a strong fighter, outwitted by Ailoi in being made to do effeminate acts. In this skillful, craftily manner, she has avenged her father's death. Now, I completely understand and appreciate that that was a lot of Greek mythology that I just butchered backwards and forwards, literally and figuratively. The point, however, is there are a lot of themes from that story that we see come up in Cotton's interview and from what we've seen of the game. In the Ovid version, someone strips the agency of a great hero, humiliates them, and takes their stuff. Gaul walks into our house, he burns it the fuck down, destroys our loot, and then takes our light. So we see a lot of these Greek themes come up in the game as well. Nessus is a planetoid that has forced itself into our system's orbit. We then see a huge drill plowing its way into Nessus, like the arrow. Nessus then promises us salvation, but at what cost? If the story is to be believed, we're going to lose something dear to us, other than the loot that we've already lost. Could this imply that the Vex really are the largest threat in Destiny 2, but there's not a damn thing we can do about it because we need their help? But that is just my crackpot theory. Let me know yours in the comments below, and like always, stay frosty.